Hello, dear distinguished people. My name is Dr. Abdelghani Fawad Hussain. Welcome to a new lecture from our training course. The complete collection of search engine optimization strategy templates with step-by-step instructions. The ultimate guide to content SEO. Content SEO is a key part of any SEO strategy. Without content, it's impossible for your site to rank in search engines. It's therefore crucial to write and structure quality content. This ultimate guide covers the most important areas of content SEO. Read on if you want to learn how to create content that ranks. What is content SEO? Content SEO refers to creating content that helps your web pages to rank high in the search engines. It includes everything, from writing to structuring the content on your website. There are three major elements you need to consider that will make your website rank well: keyword strategy, site structure, and copywriting. Why is content SEO important in the first place? Because search engines like Google read your website, so the words you use determine whether or not your site will rank in their results pages. Of course, your website should be well designed with a great user interface, and all the technical stuff that makes your site rank in Google should also be covered. But without quality content, your site doesn't stand a chance in the search engines. 1. Keyword research. What is keyword research? Keyword research is basically the steps you take to create an extensive list of keywords you would like to rank for. Every content SEO strategy should begin with keyword research because you have to know what your audience is searching for if you want to generate traffic. Keyword research helps you to discover the terms you should be aiming to rank for. Keyword research has 4 steps. Write down the mission of your business. Make a list of all the keywords you want to be found for. Look at search intent. Create landing pages for these keywords. If you do your keyword research right, you should have a clear overview of the terms people use and the terms for which you want the pages on your site to be found. This overview will serve as a guide for writing content on your website. Why is keyword research so important for SEO content? Proper keyword research will make clear which search terms your audience uses. This is crucial. At Yoast, we regularly encounter clients who use particular words when talking about their products, while their customers use entirely different words. Writing and optimizing SEO content for words that people don't use doesn't make any sense. Doing proper keyword research, make sure that you are using the same words as your target audience, therefore making the effort of optimizing your website worthwhile. Terms we use in keyword research. Keywords and key phrases. We tend to use the word keyword all the time. However, it doesn't have to be just one word. After all, WordPress SEO is a keyword, as is Google Analytics plugin, so you can have keywords containing multiple words. Long tail keywords. The longer and more specific a search term is, the easier it will be to rank for that term. Keywords that are more specific and usually longer are usually referred to as long tail keywords. Long tail keywords are more specific and focus more on a niche. How many keywords? It is very hard to give an exact number of keywords you should focus on. You just need to have a lot, as many as you can come up with. More than 1,000 keywords is probably too many though. Even if you're a reasonably small business, you'll probably end up with a couple of hundred keywords. But you don't have to create pages for all of these immediately. The great thing about having a content management system, MEMS like WordPress, is that you can gradually add content. Think about what keywords you would like to rank for right away, and which ones aren't immediately important. Determine what your priorities are, and plan the creation of your content. Head or tail? Classifying your keywords is essential. Some keywords are very common and competitive, head, while others are long tail. Decide which are your most critical, high-level keywords, the ones that generate sufficient traffic for your website and best fit your business. You'll probably only have a few of these general keywords for your business. The rest will be more down the tail. In the next section, we'll give more in-depth information on long-tail keywords and the importance of these keywords. Tip: make sure your homepage and the pages one level beneath that are optimized for the most common keywords. Content that's focused on long-tail keywords and therefore more niche should be on the tail end of your site. Keyword intent and search intent. As you're doing keyword research, it really pays off to think about the search intent of users. Are they looking for information, or do they want to buy something? What is their goal when they enter your keyword as a search term? This goal is otherwise known as keyword intent. For some keywords, it's pretty clear, like buy leather sofa or how to train your puppy, but it's not always that simple. 4 types of intent. There are 4 types of intent. Navigational intent. People want to visit a specific website, but rather than entering the URL, they're entering a term into a search engine. Informational intent. People are trying to find an answer to a particular question or information on a specific topic. Commercial intent. People want to buy something in the near future and are doing research before making a purchase. Transactional intent. People are looking to buy something after doing their commercial intent searches. Search engines are always trying to answer the exact needs people have, and they're getting better at it too. So, put simply, if 95 of the people searching for a change car tires have informational intent, and you're optimizing for transactional intent, to sell tires, you're probably not going to rank. Check the SERPs. You can get a wealth of information from the results pages when you're doing keyword research. If you want to find out what the intent is of people using your keywords, simply Google those keywords and take a good look at the search results. Then, try to create content that answers the specific need that you distill from the results for each keyword. Tip: read more about how to use the search results to create content for the right intent here. Keep reading. What is search intent? Keyword research tools you can use. There are multiple free and premium tools available to help you with your keyword research. Yoast SEO comes with a SEMrush integration that gives suggestions for related key phrases, including search volume trends. Of course, this is not a full keyword research tool, but it can help you gain valuable insights and find high-performing keywords. For other tools, please check out our article about keyword research tools. Adapting your keyword strategy. Your keyword strategy shouldn't be static. It should change and evolve alongside your company and website. It should evolve and grow with you. If it doesn't, you're doing it wrong. Stay on top of the changes in your company and adapt your strategy simultaneously. If your online shop starts selling new products, extend your list with more keywords. If you're aiming for new markets, it's vital that your keywords are aimed at these new markets as well. There are several keyword strategies to adopt. One of them is to try and rank for long-tail keywords first, then aim at more general keywords. But you could also start by focusing on general keywords before aiming for more long-tail ones. You can zoom in and pursue more niche activities, broaden your approach, adding more content on different things, or you can do both simultaneously. 2. Site structure. The second important aspect of content SEO is the structure of your site. First, I'll explain why site structure is critical. Then I'll show you what an ideal site structure looks like. I will also give you tips on how to quickly improve your site structure without completely disrupting the core of your website. Why is site structure important for content SEO? There are two main reasons why site structure is an important ranking factor and therefore imperative for building SEO content. A good structure helps Google understand your site. The way your site is structured gives Google significant clues about where to find the most important content. Your site's structure determines whether a search engine understands what your site is about and how easily it will find and index content relevant to your site's purpose and intent. A good site structure will, therefore, lead to a higher ranking in Google. By creating such a structure, you can use existing content that has attracted links from others to help your other pages rank too. Your site structure will help spread some of that link juice to the other pages on your site. On a commercial site, this means you can use high-quality content you've written to boost the search engine rankings of your sales pages too. D. A good structure makes sure you aren't competing with your own SEO content. You will probably have multiple articles about similar topics on your site. At Yoast, for example, we write about SEO. If we wrote 8 articles about SEO, Google wouldn't know which one is the most important. That's why we used our site structure to clarify this. If we hadn't, we'd be competing with our own articles for Google's top spot. So if you solve problems like this by using a sound internal linking structure, the result will be higher rankings overall. The ideal site structure. Ideally, you should structure your site like a pyramid. At the top is your home page. On your home page, you link to some other pages, such as category pages. These pages, in turn, link to even more pages. In an effective content SEO strategy, your keyword strategy and the way you structure your site work together. In a proper keyword strategy, you'll have thought about common competitive keywords as well as long, tail, and niche search terms. You should make a similar dichotomy in your site structure. Pages that focus on common search terms should appear high in your pyramid, while pages that are optimized for long-tail keywords should appear in a lower part of your structure. And don't forget to let the long-tail pages at the bottom link to the pages higher in the pyramid. Practical tips on improving your site structure. If you're serious about content SEO, you'll most likely already have a live website. So it may be a bit late to set up your site structure in an ideal pyramid. Like way, don't despair. There are still plenty of things you can do to improve your site structure and your still content. Decide upon cornerstone content. You should focus your efforts on cornerstone articles. These are the articles that you're most proud of and that fit the mission of your website best. You want to rank for these articles the most. Fun fact: this ultimate guide is one of our cornerstones. If you haven't decided which of your articles are the most important yet, start thinking about that now. Make these articles the best ones on your site. Give them extra tea and update them regularly. Link from tail to head. Once you've decided upon your precious cornerstones, make sure you link from all your tail articles to those cornerstones. That way, Google will know which articles to rank highest. You can read all about this in our article about incorporating cornerstones into your site structure. Good to know, Yoast SEO Premium has an advanced internal linking tool that automatically suggests relevant articles to link from. Pro tip: you can use our Cornerstone Content SEO workout in Yoast SEO Premium to check on all your cornerstone content pages, see how many internal links they're getting, and quickly add more if necessary. Use tags, but not too many. Your site will also benefit from adding tags. Tags and taxonomies will give your site more structure. At least Google will understand it better. They group your articles about similar topics. Don't overdo it. Some people have more tags than articles. Using too many tags will lead to a confusing and poorly structured site. Avoid duplicate content. The same SEO content can turn up at multiple places on your site. As a reader, you don't mind. You still get the content you came for. But a search engine has to choose something to show in the search results, as it doesn't want to show the same content twice. And what about other sites that want to link to your product? Chances are that some of them will link to the first URL, while others will link to the second. However, if you make sure that all these duplicate posts link to the same URL, your chances of ranking top 10 for the relevant keyword would be much higher. In other words, canonicalization is the solution to duplicate content. You can configure the canonical URL in the Advanced tab of Yoast SEO. Remove old SEO content. Should you keep old content? That depends. You have 3 options: update, redirect, or merge. If the content on a page is outdated, remove it. But what about the valuable links to that page? After all, you want to make sure that you still benefit from these links even though the page doesn't exist anymore. That's where the second option comes in: redirect. Redirecting pages is easy if you have our Yoast SEO Premium plugin, which can help you take care of redirects. Preferably, you redirect the old URL, 301, to the new and updated page or product. You can also redirect to a related page if there is no replacement. For example, the category page of the specific product, or, as a very last resort, your home page. This way, the outdated page won't interfere with your site structure anymore. Deal with orphaned content. The term orphaned contents refers to articles that don't have any links from your other articles or posts. Because of that, these articles are hard to find, both by Google and by your users. What's more, Google will consider this type of content to be less important. So if an article is important to you, you should make it clear to Google and your visitors by linking to that particular article from other related content. Read more about solving the problem of orphaned articles in our article about orphaned content. Pro tip: use our orphaned content SEO workout in Yoast SEO Premium to quickly find and fix pages with no incoming internal links. Deal with content cannibalization. Once you've been writing content for a while, you might have dozens of articles on any given topic. If these articles are kind of saying the same thing, search engines and users might get confused. Not to mention the fact that your content might compete against itself in the search engines. This is called keyword cannibalization. It's not inherently bad, but it's something you need to take a look at. Are your articles performing as well as they should, or is the competition hurting the chances at a higher ranking? Luckily, it's not hard to find and fix keyword cannibalization. 3. Copywriting for content SEO. The third and final aspect of a successful content SEO strategy is copywriting. 2 very important things to remember. Write articles that are attractive to read, and that will make your audience want to stay on your site. However, you shouldn't forget to make your SEO content attractive for Google. Just don't go too far by optimizing your content so overtly that it becomes terrible to read. At Yoast, we suggest optimizing your text for search without adversely affecting the originality of your idea or the readability of your text. Start with an original idea. The first requirement for high-quality copywriting is to write original content. Your post or article should be fresh, new, and original. It has to be different from all the other posts and articles that are already on the internet. Plus, It should be content that people want to read. If you did your keyword research well, you now have a long list of terms that you want to be found for. This list can be a guide for you to choose from. A keyword isn't necessarily a topic, though. You should make sure to come up with an original idea for your blog post. An idea in which the desired focus keyword has a prominent place. But don't worry. Original SEO content doesn't mean brand new content. Giving your professional opinion on a particular topic also counts as original content, because your personal angle to a story will make your content unique and original. Of course, if your story is completely new, that automatically means it's original. Think about your audience. If you want to write original content, you should think about your audience and who they are. Also, ask yourself, what do you want to tell your audience? What will be the main message of your article? Can you tell the purpose of your article? What do you want your audience to do after they've read your article? Do you want them to engage, buy your product service, or read more posts? Thinking about these questions will help you to come up with an original idea for your post or article. Content design and content SEO. Content design is a process that helps you produce content based on actual user needs. It doesn't just help you figure out what your user wants, but it also focuses on what the user actually needs. Thinking about your content in this way will help you create content in the language and format that your user needs. However, content design isn't just a technique to help you produce better content. It's a new way of thinking about content. If you want to know more about content design, read our post on content design, a great way to make user-centered content. Copywriting requires readable SEO content. A key requirement for writing high-quality content is to write content that's easy to read. Readability is important, both for your audience and for Google. After all, not only people read your articles, but Google does too. If your text is well structured and clearly written, readers will be able to clearly understand your message. And so will Google. If your main message is clear to Google, your post is far more likely to rank well in the search engines. Readability is about many factors, such as text structure, sentence length, and writing clear paragraphs. You can read all about the importance of readability in this post. For more tips on readability you can read our post on how to make an article more readable. Content, context, and search intent. As Google is getting smarter, it starts to understand content on sites better. Thanks to a lot of developments in the natural language processing sphere, like BERT, it's no longer just about the number of times a keyword pops on a page. It also takes into account the context of those keywords, like co-occurring terms and phrases, related words and synonyms. On top of that, as mentioned before, Google is able to understand queries of users better. It tries to determine what the search intent of the user is. Are they looking for a product or just information? Which pages fit that intent best? All these developments mean that you should focus on more than just using your keyword often enough. It means you should also think about the words you use around it. Do they make clear what topic you're discussing? And do you have the purpose in mind of the post or page you're creating? Does it just provide information, or are you trying to sell something? And does that align with what your users are actually looking for? Yoast SEO Premium lets you optimize your SEO content with synonyms and related key phrases, making it even easier to add context to your articles. Optimize content for search engines and readers. The final requirement for writing high-quality content is to make sure the content is optimized for search engines. You want your SEO content to be easily found. Findability has to do with increasing the likelihood Google will pick up your content for the result pages. It's important that you take this final step after you've written an original and readable post. Yoast SEO helps you tweak your text just a little bit more. If you've written your article focused on that original idea and optimized the readability of your post, you should take a look at the SEO analysis in Yoast SEO. Red and orange bullets indicate which aspects of your findability need a little bit more attention. You don't need a green bullet for every aspect though, as long as your overall score is good. Yoast SEO will help you to optimize your snippet preview as well. These tweaks can vastly improve your chances to be picked up by the search engines. Read more about optimizing your post in our article on how to use the content and SEO analysis. Conclusion on Content SEO. Content SEO is such a huge part of SEO. It encompasses every aspect of writing and structuring content on your website. Content SEO is essential. No one will read your content if it's crappy. Like visitors, Google reads and scans your website text. Google's algorithm decides the ranking of your site largely based on the content you publish. And we all know content is king. So, you need to write awesome SEO content. Focus on the right keywords and structure your website in such a way Google understands it. It's a lot of work, but it will pay off in the long run. Hello, dear distinguished people. My aim is Dr. Abdelghani Fawad Hussain. Welcome to a new lecture from our training course. The complete collection of search engine optimization strategy templates with step-by-step instructions. Blog post structure. How to set up an easy-to-read text. When blogging, it pays dividends to lay out the structure of your piece before you begin writing. The structure is the skeleton of your text, and preparing it has multiple benefits. Firstly, it's easier to write a text when your structure is already there. Secondly, a clear structure helps the reader to easily read your post and grasp the core message. Here, we'll give you practical tips on how to structure your blog post. Why is text structure important for SEO? Structuring a text well improves readability and, thereby, helps your readers to understand your text. If readers better understand the information you provide, it's more likely they'll find the answer to the question they have. When Google notices, by so-called user signals, you're giving valuable answers to certain queries, chances are you'll climb the rankings. Read more. Why text structure is important for SEO. Creating a clear text structure is just one aspect of SEO copywriting. If you want to master all facets, take a look at our SEO copywriting training, which is part of our online SEO training subscription. How to structure a blog post. Think before you start writing. Get a pen and paper and write down what you want to write about. That could include a bit of keyword research, but ideally, you've already done that. Check out our ultimate guide to keyword research for more on this. Next, set up a text structure and keep it close to hand while writing your blog post. One way of setting up a structure for your text is by following these three steps. Create a list of topics. Once you've gathered all the information you want to use in your post or article, you can begin structuring. So make a list of everything you want your article to cover. For instance, for this post, this could be bundle topics together. When you have a clear overview of all the topics you want to discuss in your article, you can start bundling topics. Similar topics should, of course, be discussed together. For this post, this could look like this. Order your topics. When you're done bundling, you should decide on the order of the topics in your article. In most cases, you can decide to order thematically. For instance, if you want to discuss various aspects or angles of the main topic of your blog post, but you can also order your text chronologically or didactically, as you can see in the order types table below. In the example we're discussing, ordering topics thematically makes the most sense. Write a few words about every subtopic. After you've ordered the topics you want to address in your article, you should make a new list. This list essentially is a summary of the article you're about to write. Write a short sentence or a few words for every paragraph you plan to write. This list serves as the skeleton of your article, and you should keep it close to refer to during the rest of the writing process. Text order types. Apart from arranging the order of topics according to a theme, you could also order them chronologically or by explaining the basics first and going on to more difficult aspects, known as a didactic order. This is a good idea when you are trying to explain a complicated subject. Order type. Thematic. Ordered on theme, aspect, topic. Chronological. Old to new. Didactic. Easy to hard. Problem. Solution S. Introduce the problem first and then possible solutions. Another way to order your articles is the inverted pyramid style, a method that's been used by journalists for ages. It means you start out with the most crucial element in the beginning and later add details and more background information. Especially in news articles, this works well. Guide users through your text. So, now you've got a skeleton summary of the text you're about to write. When you start writing, keep the following best practices in mind to make sure the reader will easily flow through your well-crafted blog post structure. 1. Create paragraphs. You have bundled topics together in the text structure you have set up, so now you can start to write your paragraphs. But what makes a good paragraph? A paragraph can be defined by 3 things. Remember these things while writing. A paragraph should form a thematic unit. A paragraph contains one core sentence and an elaboration of this core sentence. Info should be made more visible by using white space. Lots of people make mistakes while creating paragraphs. Some writers just put white space in their text in random places for aesthetic purposes, but don't think about the coherence and structure of the text. In many cases, the coherence within paragraphs and between paragraphs remains unclear. These kinds of mistakes can mess up the structure of your articles. Paragraphs can be short or long. The length of a paragraph is decided by the theme you are discussing, so it could be anywhere between 2 and 15 sentences. However, for writing on websites, we would advise creating short paragraphs. Keep it to less than 6 or 7 sentences, because reading from a screen is hard. For text on websites, we'd advise you to start your paragraph with the most important sentence, then explain or elaborate on it. A reader will be able to grasp the most important concepts from your article just by reading the first sentences of your paragraphs. You can conclude longer paragraphs with a summarizing sentence to clarify your point. 2. Use transition words. To guide your reader, you should use plenty of transition words. Transition words give direction to your readers. These words show the reader that you're summarizing, e.g., and to, comparing less than rather, or concluding something, e.g. Thus, consequently, hence. Type of relation. Examples of transition words. Enumerate. And first of all, also, another, furthermore, finally, in addition. Cause, because, so due to, while, since, therefore. Compare contrast. Same less rather, while yet opposite, much as either. Conclude. As a result, hence, consequently, therefore, in conclusion. Ambiguity. Seems like, maybe, probably, almost. Emphasize. most of all, most noteworthy, especially relevant. Using transition words is like putting cement between your sentences. They show your readers the connection between sentences and paragraphs. If you're not used to using transition words, it can be hard to correct content you have already written. Be sure to use transition words whenever you are summarizing or enumerating. Also, using signal words in your conclusion helps people to grasp your core message. 3. Use headings to help your reader. In the first place, headings are of great importance for your readers. Headings allow your readers to quickly scan through your text and decide whether or which parts they want to read your article. Therefore, headings should be attractive and should cover the content of the paragraphs below. Whether headings play a direct role in SEO is debatable, but if readers easily grasp the message of your content, that surely helps your SEO. You should put a heading above each paragraph or above a series of paragraphs which contain similar topics. The heading should reflect the structure of your text. We advise you to put a heading above very long paragraphs or above several shorter paragraphs which are thematically similar. Here's a detailed guide on how to implement headings in your post and on your site. 4. Add a table of contents. Landing on a page and not having a clue what to find there can make people hesitant to read on. Just seeing a long piece of text might even scare people away. Most people don't take the time to read your entire post, so to help them check whether this post offers them what they are looking for, you can add a table of contents in the beginning. Especially if you've written an extensive post or page, a table of contents gives the readers a sense of control and the possibility to scan which topics you deal with in post. If you followed the steps above, your post will have a decent structure and headings already, which means this advice is easy to implement. The old-fashioned way to implement a table of contents is adding anchor tags to all your headings and adding a totalk to all your headings and adding a totalk shortcode at the beginning of your post. But if you're using the WordPress block editor together with Yoast SEO Premium, it's even easier. We've now added a talk block to the Yoast SEO blocks. This means you'll just have to look for the right block, add it to your post, and you're done. A better structure leads to better copy. Setting up a coherent structure for your blog post is an essential step of SEO copywriting. It will result in a better understanding of the message of your blog posts. If people understand your message, they will be much more likely to share your post on social media or buy what you are selling. Hello, dear distinguished people. My name is Dr. Abdelghani Fawad Hussain. Welcome to a new lecture from our training course. The complete collection of search engine optimization strategy templates with step-by-step instructions. How to use headings on your site. Headings help users and search engines to read and understand text. For example, they act as signposts for the readers and make it easier for them to figure out what a post or page is about. Headings also define which parts of your content are important and show how they're interconnected. Here, we'll give you pointers on how to think about headers and use them to improve the readability of your content. Table of contents. Why use headings? Use headings to show text structure. Use headings to improve accessibility. Use headings to improve SEO. How to use headings effectively. Structuring your headings. How to structure your headings. What does the subheading distribution check in Yoast SEO do? How to get a green traffic light for your subheading distribution. An example heading structure. Adding headings. How to add a heading in WordPress. How to add a heading in Shopify. Using your key phrase in the subheadings. Yoast SEO can help you with the key phrase in headings assessment. How to add your key phrase in your subheadings. Headings in themes. Check your blog's headings. Did you get a red or an orange traffic light for subheading distribution in Yoast SEO? Learn how to distribute them better? Or did Yoast SEO give you feedback on the way you use your key phrase in subheadings? Learn how to improve that. Why use headings? Use headings to show text structure. Headings are signposts that guide readers through an article. Therefore, they should indicate what a section or a paragraph is about. Otherwise, people won't know what to expect. Readers like to scan content to get an idea of what the text is about and to decide which sections of the text they're going to read. Headings help them do that. Scanning the text becomes significantly harder for your readers when it doesn't contain any headings. It's even worse when you add long stretches of text after a heading. You don't want to scare off people with the infamous wall of text. For web copy, it's good practice to make sure that your headings are informative to the reader. Some people like to tease their audience in the headings, trying to entice them to read further. While that can work very well, it's also very easy to get wrong. Remember that the main focus of headings should be on the content, and the primary purpose should be to make the text easier to read and understand. Also, keep the following two things in mind. Firstly, a paragraph should start with a core sentence on which you elaborate in the rest of the paragraph. When restructuring your text to add a heading, make sure first sentence of your paragraph contains the essential information of that paragraph. Secondly, consider how the information is structured in your paragraphs and what the relation is between paragraphs, and how a subheading can help make that information easier to digest. Use headings to improve accessibility. Heading structure is important for accessibility as well, especially for people who can't easily read from a screen. Because headings are in HTML, a screen reader can understand the article structure and read them out loud. By reading or listening to the headings in an article, visually impaired people can decide whether or not to read an article. Also, screen readers offer shortcuts to jump from one heading to the next, so they are used for navigation as well. Don't forget that, in many cases, what's good for accessibility is also good for SEO. Use headings to improve SEO. It's generally agreed that how you use headings doesn't specifically impact your SEO. Making minor tweaks to individual headings likely won't help your performance. However, there are indirect benefits. Using headings creates texts of higher quality that are easier to read. A better text is better for users, which is better for your SEO. This is a good example of how your heading should be structured in a medium-length article. For a shorter article, you should use fewer or more general, high-level headings. If you want to go into much more detail, there's nothing stopping you from using 4 tags to create even lower-level sections. Adding headings. But wait, it's good to know how to structure them, but how do you actually add headings? We'll explain how to do this in 2 of the most popular KIMs, WordPress and Shopify. Note: the instructions below will walk you through how to add in text subheadings. Don't forget to add a post title at the top of the page too. In Yoast SEO Premium, you'll get a reminder to do so if the title field is empty. How to add a heading in WordPress. If you're using WordPress, there are a couple of ways to do this. Via the editor. The easiest way to add headings is through the editor. If you're using the new block editor, you can click the button and select heading. Then you can select which heading. Then you can select which heading, 2, Fat 3, etc. you want to add. If you're still using the classic editor in WordPress, it's easy too. Make sure you're on the Visual tab of the editor and select Heading 2 or another heading from the drop-down menu. It's also possible to add headings using HTML. In the classic editor, you will need to make sure you're on the Text tab or directly in the code and use heading tags honown. We use heading tags at 2, 3, etc. to specify each type of heading. End each heading with a closing tag like our. In the block editor, you can also switch between the visual editor or edit as HTML. To do that, click on the 3 vertical dots in the block toolbar. Then select the edit as HTML option, like this. How to add a heading in Shopify. Adding headings in Shopify is pretty similar to adding headings in WordPress's classic editor. If you're in the content editor, you can just select a piece of text and select the appropriate heading from the drop-down in the formatting menu item. Select the text and choose a heading in Shopify. If you prefer to work in HTML, you can select the code sign in the upper right corner of the editor and create headings in HTML as described in the instructions for WordPress above. Click the code sign to switch to HTML in the Shopify editor. Using your key phrase in subheadings. Headings give you a great chance to use your focus keyword or its synonyms prominently to make it really clear what the page is about. By adding your focus key phrase to your subheadings, you stress its importance. Moreover, if you're trying to rank for a key phrase, you'll have to write about it. If none of your paragraphs address the main topic, you'll probably have a hard time ranking. Still, just like key phrases in general, it's important not to overdo it. Add your key phrase where it makes sense. Leave it out where it doesn't. Yoast SEO can help you with the key phrase and headings assessment. After you insert your key phrase in the Yoast SEO, the key phrase in subheadings assessment checks whether you've used it sufficiently. In Yoast SEO, you'll get a green traffic light if you use the key phrase in 30 to 75 of your subheadings. Keep in mind that we'll only check your 82, 83 subheadings if you have Yoast SEO Premium, or if you're using the Yoast SEO for Shopify app, can even check your use of synonyms. How to add your key phrase in your subheadings. Whether you add your key phrase to a subheading depends on the paragraph it's connected to. Every paragraph in your text should tell the reader something about the topic at hand. In addition, your subheadings are nothing more than a very short outline of what you are going to say in one or more paragraphs. Therefore, it should always be possible to add your key phrase to one or more subheadings. If you're still struggling to achieve this, ask yourself a couple of questions about the structure of your article. Does my text discuss the topic described in the key phrase? If not, should I pick another key phrase? Do my current subheadings accurately describe what I discuss below them? What paragraphs are most closely connected to the topic and the key phrase? What questions do these paragraphs answer concerning the topic and the key phrase? Most of the time, you'll find that answering these questions helps you add the key phrase to one or more of your subheadings. If you can't, you should probably consider question number 1 again. If that doesn't solve your problems, consider educating yourself on copywriting and text structure to get a clearer view of how a good piece is structured. Your key phrase should be central to the topic. Therefore, you should be able to add it to a couple of subheadings. Headings in themes. Most themes will use headings as part of their HTML code, but some don't follow best practices. Almost all themes will automatically use the name of your article in an home tag. This is helpful because it means you don't need to repeat the post name inside your content. Unfortunately, some themes use tags incorrectly. They use tags in an illogical order, e.g., an H4, then an H2, or use tags messily in sidebars, headers, and footers. This can cause problems for accessibility, as the order of your headings might not make sense. Users, search engines, and assistive technologies usually look at the whole page, not just your content area. If you have a custom theme, you might be able to fix this by adjusting your HTML code. If you're using an off-the-shelf theme, you may need to reach out to the developers. Either way, you should check whether your headings make sense on each template type on your website. Check your blog's headings. Using headings well is helpful for your users. It increases the chances of people actually reading your article, improves accessibility, and might even contribute to SEO, so add them into your copy. Just make sure you use them correctly. There's a handy button in the upper left of the content editing screen in the WordPress block editor named Details. This shows an outline of the page you're editing. If you've structured your content well, it should look something like this. If you're using Shopify or the classic editor in WordPress, you can test your published article via the War3 validator. Hello, dear distinguished people. My name is Dr. Abdelghani Fawad Hussain. Welcome to a new lecture from our training course. The complete collection of search engine optimization strategy templates with step-by-step instructions. How to create the right meta description. The meta description summarizes a page's content and presents that to users in the search results. It's one of the first things people will likely see when searching for something, so optimizing it is crucial for SEO. It's your chance to persuade users to click on your result. This post will show you the characteristics of a good meta description and how your SEO can help you get it right. Table of contents. What is a meta description? Why set a meta description? Characteristics of a good meta description. How Yoast SEO helps you write meta descriptions. What to do if you need meta descriptions for a lot of pages. Meta descriptions for social sharing. Did you get a red traffic light for the key phrase in the meta description check in Yoast SEO? Read what this check does and how to turn this traffic light green. Yoast SEO also checks the length of your meta description. Read about how that check works and how to write a concise meta description. What is a meta description? The meta description is an HTML tag you can set for a post or page of your website. In it, you can use roughly 155 characters to describe what your page is about. If you're lucky, Google will show it beneath your page's title in the search results. It allows you to convince search engine users that your page will offer what they are looking for. In Google's search results, this is where it can be displayed. A meta description from Yoast.com as seen in the search results. And this is what it looks like in the HTML code of the page. Name description. Content. Do you want people to click on your search results? Learn how to write the best meta description, including 7 characteristics and examples. Why set a meta description? The purpose of a meta description is simple. It needs to get someone searching with a search term on Google to click your link. In other words, meta descriptions are there to generate click-throughs from search engines. Search engines say there is no direct SEO benefit from the meta description. They don't use it in their ranking algorithm. But there is an indirect benefit. Google uses click-through rate to determine whether you're a good result. If more people click on your result, Google considers you to be a good result and will, based on your position, move you up the rankings. This is why optimizing your meta description is important, as is optimizing your titles. Unfortunately, there is no guarantee that Google will display the description that you've written. But, as there is a chance it will, it's always worth the effort to add it to your post or page. What does a good meta description contain? Here's a list of elements you need to write a good meta description. Keep it up to 155 characters. Use an active voice and make it actionable. Include a call to action. Use your focus key phrase. Show specifications when needed. Make sure it matches the content of the page. Make it unique. Let's go over them in detail. 1. Keep it up to 155 characters. The right length doesn't exist. It depends on the message you want to convey. You should take enough space to convey the message, but keep it short and snappy. However, if you check the search results in Google, you'll mostly see snippets of 120 to 120 to 120 to 156 characters, like in the example below. Google says you can make your meta descriptions as long as you want, but there is a limit to what we can see in the SERPs, and that's around 155 characters. Anything longer will get truncated. This search result from a Yoast SEO user shows a succinct meta description in Google. Unfortunately, you can't fully control what Google displays in the search results. Sometimes it shows the meta description, and sometimes it just grabs some sentences of your copy. Either way, your best bet is to keep it short. That way, if Google does decide to show the description you've written, it won't be cut short. 2. Use active voice and make it actionable. If you see the meta description as an invitation to visit your page, you have to think about your user and their possible motivation to visit your page. Make sure that your description isn't dull, difficult, or too cryptic. People need to know what they can expect to find on your page. The example in the image below is the description you should strive to write. It's active. It speaks to you and addresses you directly. You know what you'll get if you click on the link. Make people want to click your search result. 3. Include call to action. Hello, we have such and such new product and you want it. Find out more. This overlaps with what we said about the active voice, but we wanted to emphasize it again. The meta description is your sales text, except, in this case, the product you are trying to sell is the page that is linked. Invitations like learn more, get it now, try for free come in handy, and we use them too. Get people to click on your link. 4. Use your focus keyword. If the search keyword matches a part of the text in the meta description, Google will be more inclined to use it and highlight it in the search results. This will make the link to your site even more inviting. Google sometimes even highlights synonyms. In the example below, both the Academy Awards and Oscars are highlighted. Getting your results emphasized like that makes them stand out even more. A listing for the Academy Awards on Google. 5. Show specifications where possible. If you have a product in your Shopify or WooCommerce store aimed at the tech-savvy, it can be a good idea to focus on the technical specs. For example, you can include the manufacturer, ESC, price, etc. If the visitor is specifically looking for that product, you won't have to convince them. Can the watch help us stay fit? Sign us up. That's all we need to know. Note that to optimize your result in this manner, you should work on getting rich snippets. Make it spark. 6. Make sure it matches the content of the page. This is an important one. Google will find out if you use the meta descriptions to trick visitors into clicking on your result. They might even penalize you if you do it. But besides that, misleading descriptions will also increase your bounce rate, which will also lower people's trust in your company. It's a bad idea for that reason alone. That is why you want the meta description to match the content on the page. 7. Make it unique. Adding the date to the snippet preview. People often ask questions about the date shown in the Google preview of our Yoast SEO plugin. We've added this because search engines may display a date with your snippet. So, it's important to factor it in when you decide on the right length of your meta description. Unfortunately, there's no way to directly control whether this date is shown or not, but you can try to manage the dates they use in the search results. If your meta description is the same as those for other pages, the user experience in Google will be hampered. Although your page titles might vary, all pages will appear to be the same because all the descriptions are the same. Instead of creating duplicate meta descriptions, you'd better leave them blank. Google will pick a snippet from the page containing the keyword used in the query. That being said, writing a unique meta description for every page you want to rank with is always the best practice. How Yoast SEO helps you write meta descriptions. Adding a meta description is easy if you're on WordPress or Shopify and using Yoast SEO. Firstly, you can write it in the Google preview section of Yoast SEO, but Yoast SEO also gives you feedback on it in the SEO analysis. Meta descriptions in WordPress, the plugin checks the meta description length and whether you've used your focus key phrase. So let's see how the plugin helps you and what you can do with it. Meta descriptions in Shopify. You can edit your meta description in Yoast SEO. What does the key phrase in meta description assessment in Yoast SEO do? This check is all about using the key phrase in the meta description. A focus key phrase is the search term you want a page to rank with. When people use that term, you want them to find your page. You base your key phrase on keyword research. After your research, you should end up with a combination of words that most of your audience is most likely to search for. We've already discussed that when you use your key phrase in the meta description, Google will likely highlight it. That makes it easier for people to see that they found what they are looking for. Yoast SEO checks if and how often you use the words from your focus key phrase in the meta description text. In addition, if you use Yoast SEO Premium, it also takes into account the synonyms you enter. If you overdo it, the plugin advises you to limit the use of your focus key phrase. Key phrase in meta description in WordPress. Key phrase in meta description in Shopify. What a green bullet looks like in Yoast SEO. How to get a green traffic light for the key phrase in meta description. If you don't mention the key phrase in the meta description at all, you'll get a red traffic light. So make sure to write one. But don't stuff your meta description with your key phrase because that will also get you a red traffic light. And make sure to mention all the words from your key phrase near to each other. Search engines are pretty smart nowadays, but you still need to make it clear what your page is about. What does the meta description length assessment do? This meta description length assessment measures whether your description is too short, less than 120 characters, or too long, more than 156 characters. When your meta description has the right length, you'll get a green traffic light. If it's too long or too short, you'll get an orange traffic light in the SEO analysis of Yoast SEO, or red if you've marked your article as cornerstone content. Meta description length check in WordPress. Meta description length check in Shopify. What the check looks like in the Yoast SEO meta box. How to write a concise meta description. A good meta description convinces people that your page offers the best result to their query. But to be the best result, you must know what people are looking for. What is their search intent? Are they looking for an answer to a question? If they are, try to give them the most complete answer. Are they looking for a product? Write down what makes your product. Write down what makes your product stand out and why they would best buy it in your store. Be concise and convincing. You get real-time feedback on the meta description length in the Google Preview section in the Yoast SEO sidebar or meta box. If you want to write a meta description, click on Google Preview in the Yoast SEO sidebar. This will open the snippet editor and you'll see input fields to edit the SEO title, the slug, and the meta description. When you start typing in the meta description input field, the snippet preview at the top of the Google Preview editor will immediately show your new text. Underneath the input field, there is a bar. It's orange when you start typing and will become green when you've added enough information. When you add too much text, it will turn orange again. Google Preview in WordPress. Google Preview in Shopify. The bar will change color when you go over the limit. Writing or editing your meta description in the Yoast SEO meta box underneath your post editor is also possible. Just go to the SEO tab in the meta box if it's not on this tab by default, and you can start typing in the field under meta description right away. What to do if you need meta descriptions for a lot of pages? Does it feel like you need to change all your meta descriptions after reading this, but not sure how to fit that into your schedule? Google has the answer. If you don't have time to create a description for every single page, try to prioritize your content. At the very least, create a description for the critical URLs like your homepage and popular pages. You can check which of your pages rank highest with Google Search Console. Take it from there. Additionally, it's also possible to optimize your meta descriptions with variables in Yoast SEO. This allows you to speed up this process without having to worry about duplicate descriptions. If you prefer to write a unique description for each page and have a lot to get through, you can use the bulk editor tool in Yoast SEO for WordPress. Head to the Tools page, click on Bulk Editor, and then select the Descriptions tab. You'll be able to see any meta descriptions already set for your pages, and you can quickly add new ones without having to open each page individually. However, with this tool, you won't get warnings if your description is too short long, or if the focus keyword is missing.